Okay, we're going to go through and critique primarily the persuasive speeches, speech number 4. First, I want to talk to Beecher. Beecher, through a series of technical problems, we didn't get to your informative speech. It was about St. Patrick's Day. You had the wrong camera shot. This is the only... Boy, how many times have I said this? This is the only shot I want to see ever in any of your videos. You can have PowerPoints on in the background. You can have them on the other side of the room. Send me copies of them. I don't want to have your camera zoom back in order that you can show yourself in the same shot with the PowerPoints. Don't do that. I have said it every single time, and we still have people that ignore that. So the wrong camera shot, it's either you didn't have this or you had a really wide shot with pictures in the background. Don't do that. All right, your camera zooms out for the pictures. Don't do that. Your camera's never supposed to move once you have this shot established. It also is hard to hear you. There's a lot of room or maybe even camera noise. I'm not exactly sure what it is. And also you're standing in the light of your projector, and that's awfully disconcerting. Now, positives. You had a nice flow to your speech. There's another issue here, and that is you source when you get a fact. You also need to source your pictures. Where'd they come from? And if you don't do that, that's a form of plagiarism. So remember that. Everybody remember that. And also, when you tell a funny story, smile. If you don't think it's funny, the audience isn't going to think it's funny either. Watch the uhs and the ums. Continuing now, Beecher, and this one is your persuasive speech about volunteering, and you had excellent visuals, same kind of thing in terms of the pictures that you were showing on the screen. Do not do that. Let me look at the visuals that you send to me, which you did. So please don't. This is the shot, the only shot. All right, you were way short on your length. You ran 4 minutes and 59 seconds. You had the wrong, very wrong shot composition. There was a fair amount of room noise. It's hard to see your eyes. That's the other thing for this shot being this close. I need to see your eyes. I need to know, are you looking at the audience? And in this case, that's me. That's why I tell you, look at the camera when you're talking. I don't care about over there or over there. Look at the camera. That's me. That's the only way I can judge eye contact, which is absolutely crucial when you're giving a speech. You violated your instructions on how to get your visuals into your speeches. Now, you were conversational. That's a plus. And you also want to watch your sniffles when you do that. And in terms of critique, it's very hard to tell whether you had eye contact when you have the shot that you had. Next up is Buddy. Buddy talked about coal. You only gave me one outline. Each speech, with the exception of the final speech, requires 2 outlines. Preparation outline, speech outline. Stand still when you speak. You move an awfully lot. You can't do that. You have the wrong camera shot composition, again, because you were trying to show pictures or something. I'm not exactly sure why, because your visual was a piece of coal. Interesting explanation of where coal comes from. You need to work on your energy. You're trying to sell us on your point of view, so you need to have energy when you do that. Next up is Hoosier. Hoosier, you talked about active exercising. Very, very well done speech. Good appearance, good shot composition. Yes, somebody paid attention. Also, you need to amp up your energy just a little bit. I mean, you're good, but amp it up just a little bit. You're talking about active. That's a word in your thing, so be a little more active. This was a good speech. The polling data was very interesting. Actually, for those of you who don't know what she did in her speech, she had polling data that she got. She developed her own poll and asked questions, and that's wonderful. All right, explain the colors in your graphs. You just point at things when you have a pie chart and they're in colors. Then explain what the colors are, because we can't necessarily see the numbers, but we can to pick up on what the colors are. You made good points in your speech, and they were well made. Not only were they good points, they were well made. This was a very good job, and it was full of interesting facts, extremely well presented. Next up is Bertie. And Bertie, you talked about healthy body weight. Another excellent speech. It was a good start. You ran a little bit long, and you got to watch that. You need to explain how the visuals fit in your speech in terms of showing them why are you using these particular visuals. All right, you had a solid flow. You were conversational. You had an excellent appearance. A good job explaining the topic and the terms you used in the topic. You had passion. That's important when you're talking about persuading people and you have no passion about your side, then the audience won't have any passion either. So that was good. Very well done. Obviously, this was an important topic to you. You had a very strong presentation. On the little bit of a downside, you have a light tisk sound when you talk, so be careful. Next up is golf. In golf, you talked about recycling, just about as good as it can be. First of all, you started by personalizing it. You had a solid opening, great appearance, great shot composition. You were conversational. You need to watch your flow as you go along and talk about climate dead spots. Eliminate the dead spots in the flow. There were some points in there where you kind of paused before you got to your next thing. You had excellent points, well supported. Your source citation was outstanding. Your passion for the topic was evident. You had great analogies. You had a story well told, the topic well explained, the credibility extremely well established, a vocabulary that created a vivid image in the listener's mind of what you were talking about, and a very well done ending. I wrote a note on here. You absolutely nailed this speech. Obviously, your best yet. All right, way to go, folks. This is good news. You're getting near the end of the class and you're doing that kind of work. Next up is Star. Star, you talked about blood donations. Another very good speech. A very professional appearance. Very well written and well delivered. You're blocking your visual a little bit. We don't want to see the visuals, but also when you stand in front of it, you block it for the audience that's there to see it. You had an excellent, well-balanced presentation, a good job on dealing with the opposition views. You can ignore the opposition, or you can acknowledge that there are people that don't feel the same way you do, but talk about why that should not influence them, etc., etc., etc. Way to go. Nice job. This was well prepared, well presented, and it was a good source integration into your speech. In other words, the way you cited your sources, the way you integrated the sources into the speech was way to go. You dispelled a lot of myths. You had a compelling and you had a balanced summary. It was just a great action step at the end for the people that were listening to your speech. Again, they don't get much better than that. Way to go. Next up is Root Weevil. You talked about civil unions. You had some really great points, but I'm totally baffled because at really some very serious points in your speech, you laughed. And that tells me one of two things. Either you didn't really mean anything you said, or you found the things that you were saying as funny, and maybe you're just trying to please the professor and say what you think the professor wants. Those are all fatal mistakes. You never, ever in a serious speech laugh about a point you're making, and especially a serious point. You made some good points, but don't laugh about them, because when you do, it destroys any credibility that you have. You laughed at the most inappropriate times. I said why. Stand still when you're speaking. You're reading your speech. You're absolutely reading it. Almost every word for word, you're reading. And about 3 minutes in, you even take your text from, you reached out and you grabbed it from someplace and you took it in your own hands and you continued to read it. What was your visual? You didn't send me anything, so I have no idea what your visual was. And if you even met the requirement that you were showing it to your audience, that's fine, but I don't have a copy of it, so you lose out on that too. You destroyed your credibility by laughing in the most serious parts of your speech. I don't know what else I can say about that, except that, you got good points. Don't destroy them. Finally, Hunter. Hunter, you talked about gun control, another good speech, excellent eye contact. Center yourself in the picture. You were a bit off to the side, and the camera was pretty close. You need a little more light on your face. By close, by the way, on the picture, I mean you were zoomed in. Instead of this shot, you were very close, probably from here up. But, look at the shot. This is the shot, the only shot, like a parrot. I keep saying that, and I can't get it across. All right, you made a solid point-by-point argument. What if manufacturing of assault weapons was banned? Would be an interesting one. You had a very good use of statistics, and you very well delineated your action steps. Way to go. And again, where were the visuals? Watch things like you did FER, F-E-R, for, and you talked about deters, for deters. You want to deter gun violence, not deters. And also, you had gun violence has fell. So watch your grammar. I'm a big one on communication, and I know that grammar is important, but I also believe that communication is the transmission of a message which is both received and understood. And sometimes bad grammar, you still communicated, you still had a message, I still received it, I still understood it. Yes, I want to see you clean up the grammar, because there are going to be audiences that will judge you based on your grammar alone. So these are points you need to pay attention to. All right, your final speech is your special occasion speech. Make sure you get that done, get it in on time. There are very few points left. I will be posting the points that you have so far. It looks to me like everyone in the class should pass this course, unless you do something really, really dumb, because at this point you only have maybe 20 points left in discussion boards, 20 points left on a speech. That's 40 and 60 and 50 points, so 110 points left. But 110 points is one letter grade if you go 700, 800, 800, 900, 900 to 1,000. So do your best. If you have any questions at all, call me in my office and talk to me. Also, if you're having a problem uplinking your speech, contact Connect Lucas's helpline immediately. Don't call me 2 days later, because I can't do anything about it. It's all them. Okay? Call me if you have any other problems. We look forward to this. I want to thank you for your listening to these. It's important that you do that, and it's been fun having you in the class, and good luck to you in the rest of your college career. Maybe we'll talk to you again at some point, but till then, you have a great one, and don't get too stressed about the last few days in this semester. You'll do very well. Take care.